I really needed to take a deep breath. You know those times in your life where you become so involved with something that time goes by and then you realize, wow, I wasn't even breathing. I'm surprised how I'm alive right now. Isn't it amazing when you take a real deep breath? Well, hello. I'm back. I'm back with this golden milk tea and with a simple and important message that the Pleiadians keep sending over and over and over. They say the most important thing now and at all times of your life, but especially at a time like this, is to remember to be unreactive. It's not easy. It's not easy because everything around us is always demanding our attention. But not just our attention as in, hey, look at me, watch me, watch me, watch me. Imagine these are screens. It's not just that kind of attention of watch me, it's saying, react to me. What emotion do you have for me? Angry? Good. Are you fearful? Good. Are you guilty? Good. It might seem a little silly, but have you noticed that you watch stuff and you turn it off and you feel so pissed, or you're still watching, or you really feel bad? Now, it's often genuine. Of course, it's genuine. It's natural. You see something upsetting and you want to react to it. And you can have that initial reaction. But then here comes that breath again. A deep belly breath. You take that breath and you realize, you know, okay, I understand this is upsetting. But I also understand how important it is for me to remain clear and calm. Because without that, it is so easy to control a human being. See, anybody who wants to control you, they just go at your emotions, especially your negative emotions. And humanity has been going through a collective experience that has not been pleasant for many humans. Now, it's been fine for others. For some reason, for some people, it's been fine because of near perfect physical circumstances, let's say. You know, like celebrities, right? Where they have nice places to be in and all that. And yet there have been other people, basically the rest of us, who have had physical circumstances that were not perfect. You know, like not being able to pay rent or lose a job. And other issues that come up with this. And at the same time, for some people, despite this, they've been able to maintain their spirits high. They've been able to keep their eyes open, their eye open, and to really see what's going on without being so reactive to everything. This is the biggest thing and the most powerful message that they send. And when you begin to live this way, there is a real genuineness to your experience, you know? Where you feel, you know, I know I am not a perfect person, and I know that's not what it's about. And I also know that when I'm grounded to a reality that I've created intentionally, then there's something so genuine about that. See, we are at a very important shift we are. It's not just something to say because it sounds so powerful. We really are. We are seeing it finally manifested physically. I mean, it's always been there, but it's ramping up. You know, one of the things that the Pleiadians have said, that Seven has said, is that energy is speeding up. And what this does is that... Okay, so what this does is it speeds up this shift, meaning when you are unreactive and you maintain a good state of being, you understand that, of course, it's not perfect physical circumstances, and sometimes physical circumstances can be quite dangerous. I lived through the fall of communism and then civil war in Albania. I remember being very hungry and bullets flying through the window of our apartment where I was growing up in Elbasan, and that's the town I grew up in Albania, and all kinds of things that are not necessary to go into this video. So like myself, you probably have had those experiences where your physical circumstances sometimes do near, dangerous. However, and there's those natural reactions where you want to maintain your safety, but beyond that, when we maintain a grounded sense of being and an openness and a calmness, you know how powerful that is? Because you are transcending what everybody else is telling you how you should perceive reality and how you should create your reality, right? So imagine that that's what we've done all of our lives, and there comes a point when we realize that maintaining the state and wellness of being and this calmness and this clarity despite the chaos around us, well, all of a sudden we feel the sense of power. And if we're not used to it, it's very easy to say, oh, this is too much. You know what? I better go and worry like everybody else. I better go and panic like everybody else. And then you catch yourself and you say, wait a minute. I've experienced this shift. And if there's one thing that it's taught me, it's this ability to gain a broader perspective. This is what, when the channeled messages come through, and they come through, so many people say, and I've received this comment and messages, oh, why don't the Pleiadians come through to help us? And the way that they say it is that if we came here to help you, it would mean that we do not see you as able to help yourselves. And that is not how we see you. We see you fully able. That's why we come to simply remind you, because you have within you this guidance, all of you. They say there will come a day where everybody's a channel. You won't need to hear channeled messages because it's coming through and you're being in it and you're living in it, We gotta remember to stay grateful and to really count our blessings. It sounds so simple. And actually, it is very simple. But as humans, we tend to complicate things. And if anybody wants to, again, control us, they will create a system and they'll say, it's very complicated. This happens here and this happens here. And let's set this person against this person and this group against this group. And let's let them go at it. And as you step away from that, that is what it is. It means to unplug from the matrix, right? It means to unplug and begin nourishing yourself. See, so many people are so malnourished spiritually and emotionally. So many people in so much grief and pain and apathy because so many people do not realize that they deserve to feel good. They deserve to feel worthy. That feeling like a victim can be comforting for a moment, but it is a very disabling identity. It is a very disabling way of approaching this incredible existence. we are going through an amazing shift. The Pleiadians call this the portal of fire. The portal of fire is a process. It's more than just a process. It's a portal of fire, but a process is a simple way of sharing it. This is a power where we burn things down, symbolically speaking. But in some cases, even literally speaking. Now, ideally, we're burning down old aspects of us that are not serving us. However, if you are going through the portal of fire with grace, with gratitude, with a sense of well-being. Now, a sense of well-being doesn't mean, let's say someone will say, well, I am feeling sick for some reason or something is happening. And this, is natural. The sense of well-being is that you might have a physical ailment. It could even be severe. But you are plugged into well-being, wherein you notice so much of the well-being around you that you begin to heal yourself from within, you see. And so when you go through the portal of fire with this grace, then you can burn down the old sides of you and be reborn. That is ascension. You are ascending and you are lifting up. And this is when you begin to say, well, I've seen something beyond me. I've seen something beyond anything I've ever known. However, if one goes through the portal of fire with lack of awareness, because see, you can go through a portal of fire and have some anger and rage and be aware of it. And that awareness allows you to see that, okay, I have this, and I would like to free myself from this fear. Not punishing yourself for having any emotion. That sets you back in that cycle, right? The whole point is to say, okay, I have an awareness and I'd like to free myself. So when you go through the portal of fire with this rage and this anger and this awareness at the same time, you see, it's this beautiful dance. Then you burn away this rage and this anger and you come onto the other side. And there's a big relief, sometimes when we go through a big change, we will cry. But like other times, we don't cry because we feel like a victim. We cry because we finally feel how we truly are meant to feel. Worthy, full, empowered human beings. And so this can be incredibly transformative. And this is one of the things that is happening now. However, when we go through the portal of fire and we say no, and we go through full ego, if we go through the portal of fire with full ego and we say, screw it, I don't care about anything or anyone, I'm right, everything I know is right, I'm not going to question anything, and sure, let's just go through this thing and let's just get to this next level. You get to the portal of fire, but oftentimes what people burn is their grace and their sense of well-being. And so they get to the other side and they have more anger and rage. And the portals of fire, again, it's a personal aspect that we go through, and it's also a collective aspect. So right now, there are humans in the world who are going through a personal portal of fire and a collective portal of fire. And there's humans who have been through a portal of fire in their personal life and are going through now a collective portal of fire. Now, if you've already been through a portal of fire, or a few of them, and you've been able to burn off this rage and anger, this deep-rooted rage and anger, you've been able to really burn it through and come to the other side, you can be a true, incredible force now for others who are going through the portal of fire. This is something that throughout time, everybody at some point would go through a portal of fire, or a few of them, and then collectively, because that is how ascension happens. And certain, as I mentioned, humans who had been through it would help others. And this is something important to remember, is that we are not alone in this journey. And it is good to extend our grace out, to extend our love, our compassion, while also realizing that the only way that we can really create this within, this compassion, this love, and be in it and be it, is by being unreactive. Because when we are reactive, that's it. Someone or a system, in this case, a system, will make sure to exploit that. And this is just the nature of energetically where the earth is right now. See the so good. This is something that the Pleiadians have been clear about. That there are all kinds of entities here on Earth, and some entities are interested in, domination, control, warfare. To them, though, they don't see it as bad, because the way in which they process and create their realities from a certain vibration. And so, thankfully, there's other beings as well who are very attuned to what is beautiful and what is precious. And so these energies create a balance. However, right now, and for a while, these energies have been really out of balance. Meaning that there's been energetically this dance happening, and as more humans are desiring balance, it is continuing now to manifest in different ways in different parts of the world, depending on the frequencies that are being released. What they say is that sure, this is going on, and what is brilliant about it is that every single one of you have the power to be aware and conscious about the frequencies that you are emanating. And when you do, you are aware of what you're sending out there, and this is your greatest contribution. However, when you are emotionally reactive, so you are angry, guilty, upset, and you continue to react and react and react, you are dropping your vibration so low and your frequency so low, and that is what you're sending out there. So it doesn't matter what actions you take or what words you speak, that's the vibration that you're communicating. And one of the brilliant things that I love about what they say is that one of the greatest things they say that we wish we could help you humans see is how we see, and how we see frequency. And all the words that you speak and all the words that you people say and all the things that are said and images that are created, those also carry a frequency, and everything would be seen. And when you see that, I mean, for one, you do not need words anymore. You are simply seeing it. When you do see it, it is not easy to fool you anymore. Someone cannot say something but then carry a totally different frequency. You just see them for the frequency that they have, no matter what words they're saying. And so, one of the ways in which we do see frequency, or can assess frequency, so to speak, in our day-to-day life is through emotion. And as we develop our intuitions, we can then sense others' emotions. And then the next level is sensing it, but not becoming reactive to it, you know? You've had those times, I'm certain you've been somewhere where something was happening. Someone or somebody's were reacting to a situation, and you're there just wondering, what happened? At the same time, you're not so concerned about, oh, what happened, so I can know what happened, so I can gossip about it. You're simply wondering, what's this hoopla all about? And then when you see the situation, you have deep compassion for what happened. No judgment, compassion. But you do not find it necessary to react to it. You say, okay. And maybe you might even feel so tempted because somebody could come, you know, sometimes this happens in work situations, in family situations, with friends. And somebody will try to pull you into it and say, well, let me tell you the facts. Let me tell you what happened. And sometimes it's so tempting to say, oh, okay, let me become pissed with you. Let me become angry with you. And sometimes becoming angry is a process of how we lift up emotionally, right? You're in grief and you're in apathy, you lift up to some anger. And then you move on, you move up a little bit more to hope and then to well-being. I'm sort of really jumping the scales here, but simply put, the point I'm trying to make is that, or the point that I'm making is that it is about maintaining that harmony and equilibrium. And I'm going to confess something to you. You ready? No one will give you permission to feel good all the time. No one. It's actually the opposite. Even the people on earth who love you the most, at some point, they're gonna want you to sympathize with them. And it's okay to sympathize with one another, to uplift each other, right? However, when we sympathize in order to keep ourselves down and upset, we're not helping anyone. So give yourself permission to be in harmony, to be in balance. You'll know when it's time to get wild. You know, when you get a little extra. But you also know how important it is to see everything with gratitude. We're not alone. You know, sometimes when you need those really big hugs, feels so good. I'm sending you a really big hug right now. So, give yourself permission to feel good. Give yourself permission to be in harmony. You are precious. You are a star being. Sending you lots of love. Okay. I'm not done. There's one last thing that I wanted to share. Some humans on Earth coming up in a few weeks will be experiencing a galactic event. So, this is something that little birdie gave me a little message about. And it will be happening at different parts of the world all throughout planet Earth. So, are you ready?